So here come the Patriots, and Greg, they are led by their second-year quarterback, the number 3 overall pick in 2024 out of North Carolina. It's Drake May.
Mike, as I think back to opening day over my years of playing in the NFL, it didn't matter if I was a rookie or going into my 14th season. I think every player goes into that game with just a little bit of extra nerves, thinking, all right, new season, new opportunity. Can I still do this at a high level? And man, you get through that first game and it feels like you can finally take a deep breath and let the season unfold. There's going to be a lot of nerves in this one here today, but the team that settles down the fastest and just gets back to playing ball, they're going to have a big advantage coming away with a big win today.
Eric Stokes, the man there defensively to break that one up. Here's a run with the rookie from Ohio State. And he nearly got free. But as it is, gain of 6. It sets up third down.
That's a gain of 7.
Throwing now is May. Forced out wide. He's got Douglas going deep. What a connection. He's down inside the 5-yard line. It's a big hit for the Patriots. It's a gain of 49.
First down. First and goal at the 4-yard line.
Eddie, what's that?
May gonna look to throw. That's in the end zone and intercepted. And he's gonna set his guys up well. Nice return. The offense is gonna have to just pass the 40-yard line. They'll start on the ground with Genty. And he'll be met in the backfield and dropped behind the line of scrimmage. After the loss of 3, it is 2nd and 13. Smith gonna keep this himself. Well, that helps. It's gonna be a much more manageable third down, getting some good yardage on that second down play.
A gain of 10 yards.
From the shotgun, it's Smith. The pass rush gets hold, and he goes down. Anthony Jennings. He's got his first sack of the season here early in week 1. Here's A.J. Cole now. The punt for the second time, looking to pin the opponent back deep. And he overhit that just a bit. But it's beyond the goal line, and that is a touchback. So the Patriots, 4 and 13 last year. They make the coaching change. They find a quarterback they hope in Drake May. And all of a sudden you bring Mike Vrabel in here, and Greg, it feels a little bit different around this Patriots squad.
It does, and listen, there's no question. In the NFL, Mike, we all know you need to be good at 2 spots if you want to be consistent over any period of time, and that's head coach, and they believe they got their guy in Mike Vrabel. After the 1-year tryout of Gerard Mayo, they feel like they finally landed on the person who can carry on that Patriots legacy, that identity, and then, of course, you need to be competitive, and you need to be set at the quarterback position.
That is caught. What a throw. Touchdown, New England. For Diggs, that's his first touchdown as a New England Patriot. Now Andres Borregales for the extra point. The kick is good. And the Patriots have their first lead of the new year. They're up 7-0 here in the season opener. Nothing is our score as this kick is sent into the air. Now return coming from the 7. And he's brought down right at the 25-yard line. And Greg, this was a contender for a big change with 4 and 13 a year ago. And boy, did the Raiders do that in the offseason, in the draft, and free agency. Maybe most importantly, with the new head coach, what does Pete Carroll bring to the Silver and Black?
I think the thing that is so true about Pete is just his ability to be consistent. You know, no matter what team it was on, back in those USC days when he built that juggernaut, and then obviously the identity and the culture he brought to Seattle and their sustained success over a long period of time. He goes out, he brings in a very familiar face from Seattle. They trade for Geno Smith. They get Astringenti in the draft. This has the early makings of that ground and pound, play great defense, manage the game at quarterback. But we saw Pete Carroll turn Seattle around pretty quickly years ago. So he's going to continue to stay true to his method, stay true to his process. And if it's anything like what we've seen before, I don't expect Las Vegas to be down very long.
That is fielded at the 20. And how about that? Nice return there, picking his way up past the 35-yard line. Patriots making their way back out. Number of uniforms through the years at the Patriot days, for those who are old enough to remember. Now, this is their NFL rivalry-inspired combo. They call this Nor'easter. That was real close, but there's 6 stars around the neckline. That is in reference to the 6 states of New England: Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and of course, Massachusetts. Oh, it's also the 6 Super Bowl titles the Patriots have won. And that'll be a pickup of 3.
Taking down at the 19-yard line.
Once more, it's Henderson. And he's into the end zone. Way beyond Henderson. Touchdown, Patriots. For Henderson, 48 total touchdowns in 4 years at Ohio State. That is first here in the NFL. No problem there on the extra point. And the Pats will extend their first quarter lead. It's now 14-0. Both teams ready to go once more as the kick's away. This taken at the 5. And he is stopped at 25. The drive will begin there. The Raiders offense getting their final instruction. Heading back onto the field. They'll see if they can put something together here, beginning with 1st and 10. Back is Smith. A throw on the move is caught. And he'll be brought down up around the 38-yard line.
18 yards on the play. That's good for Las Vegas. First down. 1st and 10.
They run out of the gun with Genty. And he'll get back to the line of scrimmage at best. Might have even lost a yard there. Last play went the wrong way. It sets up 2nd and long. It's 2nd down and 12.
36 yards.
Working out of the gun. Smith under pressure, and down he goes. They got him.
If there's any silver lining for this drive, Mike, it's the fact that at least this sack occurred on an early down. So I guess technically they have a chance to claw themselves out of this hole, but that's the 3rd sack of the game. This defense doesn't show any signs of slowing down.
He'll try to run for it. And he'll get into the slide here, but he's going to be well short of the 1st down.
And that's a great job defensively here on 3rd down. Not only taking away all the options down the field through the air, but when the quarterback decides to turn into a runner himself, they're able to converge and make the play and keep him short of the 1st down.
That one hit inside the 10, but it bounces forward into the end zone. Bring it back out to the 20-yard line. The Patriots offense and their running back, Travion Henderson, making their way back out there. And he has made his presence felt in the ground game already in this 1st quarter. And it might very well lean on him the next 3 quarters, too. Room to run at the 35. And finally, they'll bring him down, but he's up beyond the 45-yard line.
It's a gain of 27 yards. And the Patriots.
The throw on 1st down is made. That's deep for the back of the end zone. That is going to be hauled in. He's got it. Touchdown, New England. What a start to the year. His 2nd opening half.
This is when you're very fortunate as an offensive play caller, Mike, that you not only have the speed on the outside, but you got the big arm behind center because it doesn't get real fancy. If you can hold up in the protection, you're saying run as fast and as far as you can. I'm going to throw it as far as I can, and when you connect, it is a thing of beauty, and in this case, it results in a touchdown.
And now, after the big play, got to cut that celebration short because they're going to stay out and go for two. Now, May escaping to his left. That's going to be caught. So add a couple more points, and they add to their lead.
I know it sounds like I'm being biased, Mike, but I'm really not. Down here this close to the end zone, especially on two-point tries, the size, the length, the athleticism, and matchups these tight ends can create, man, they are a tough handle, and it leads to 2 points.
The Raiders offense ready to get back at it. They are facing an uphill climb early. Begin this drive with 1st and 10. And the rush gets home. He'll go down. They got him. Work to do now as they come up on 2nd and long. From the shotgun, Smith, and he's going to go down yet again. He has been under fire all game long. Harold Landry, what a way to kick off the new year. 2 sacks in the first half of the opener. Work to do following the sack. It is 3rd and long. Keno to throw. That's complete to lock it outright. He's going to be out of bounds. He is well shy where he needed to get to. It'll bring up 4th down. They take this in back at the 16. That could have broken for a bigger return, but as it is, nice job getting his offense a start out past the 30-yard line. The Patriots offense and Stephon Diggs heading back out on the field. And he's had an early impact on this game. Sensational start, and you know they're going to be looking his way more as this game goes on. And he just about did a little pirouette there, spinning and turning for a pickup of 5.
37-yard line. A gain of 5 brings up 2nd and 5.
Again, it's Henderson. Room to run past midfield. And he will go all the way. Travion Henderson. Touchdown, Patriots. And what an opener it has been for this rookie. That's now his 2nd touchdown here in Week 1. Play, got to cut that celebration short because they're going to stay out and go for 2. The throw is May, exiting the pocket right. That's going to wind up incomplete. They try for 2, and it does not pan out. So, first quarter in the books here on NFL Kickoff Weekend. The Patriots out on top, and we're back to Foxborough in a moment. The kickoff team is out on the field, and we're back to it as the kick's away. Here comes a return from the 5. And he will only be able to muster the 20-yard line on that return. The Vegas offense ready to get rolling again. Greg, you take a step back and look at the AFC West big picture. This is historic stuff. Chiefs are going for a 10th straight division title, but you have to remember 2 other teams in. That's over the middle and intercepted. Picked off by Christian Gonzalez. And his offense is going to be all set up with a short field and a chance to extend their lead.
And this is what comes when you decide to attack outside the numbers. You have to have a quarterback that's A, willing to make tough throws, and B, the arm strength to do it. He has the arm. I just think that one was a little too reckless, and they end up with a big interception.
May now On 1st and 10. Forced to his right. That's to the right side. And incomplete. 2nd and 10. And off it is Henderson heading left. And the defense strings him out. He'll fight just to get back to the line of scrimmage.
A gain of 1 brings up 3rd down.
On 3rd down, Henderson. And he'll take it down inside the 20. A run into the red zone. A pickup of 6.
A gain of 7. It's 4th down.
They'll try it now with Henderson. And they continue to be tough to stop. Chance to extend the lead even further as they are set up with 1st and goal.
That's good for our Patriots. 1st down. 1st and goal at the 1-yard line.
I know it's 4th and short, Mike, but at this distance, you actually have to clear a lane out. You can't just fall forward or push the pile. So that conversion, it's as much of a credit to the blocking as it is to the running back seeing the hole and hitting it.
Henderson trying to find a crease in that mass of humanity, but he's going to come up short.
This defense is able to get the hold here on 1st down, Mike, but they might have to do it 3 more times. I think if I'm this offense, I'm saying this is 4th down territory. I've got 3 more shots to gain 1 yard. Here you go.
Another shot from the 1 on 2nd and goal. Here's May moving left. That is caught. What a dive on the scramble. Hunter Henry. Touchdown, New England. Greg, it's the quarterback's best friend, and you were that guy for a lot of years. The tight end in a tight area with man coverage.
Yeah, and it's really twofold, Mike, right? First and foremost, we see so many of these tight ends around the league, and now I've gotten to the point where one-on-one matchups, that's advantage offense. But then even in the cases they don't create great separation, Mike, it's their size, their catch radius. It's such a friendly target for the quarterback that when things get tight in the red zone, they look to the tight end.
He fields it at the 8. Across the 20, they'll mark him down before the 25-yard line. That's where the offense will take over. The Raiders offense ready to see what they can do. You know, Greg, you start to think about, okay, who are the teams that didn't make the playoffs last year that have a chance this year? Look, it happens every year. We just have to identify who they are. Who are a couple top of mind for you as we start 2025 here?
You know, as I start the AFC, I think the Cincinnati Bengals, and you got to think the way their season ended last year, they rattled off 5 wins straight, really on the back of Joe Burrow. We could have made the argument if they're a playoff team that Joe Burrow was the best player. I mean, he was incredible. Most weeks, Mike, he single-handedly carried that offense. Now, new defensive coordinator in Al Golden comes from the college ranks. Can he just make that defense in Cincinnati average? Because if they just play a little bit better with that high-profile offense, I think they're a team. They might not win the division with Baltimore, but they're going to be close and maybe at least get one of those wild card spots.
Why don't you flip it over? Who are the guys you're watching in the NFC?
You know, I think Dallas is going to find themselves, just the fact that I know the division is difficult. Obviously, Philadelphia remains really strong. Does Washington kind of regress a little bit back now in year 2? They were a high-profile, big splash team of last year. Do they regress to the median? Time will tell. But I think healthy Dallas, healthy Dak, healthy Micah Parsons, like that roster that we saw play last year is not the roster on paper that we expected to see. So I think Dallas has a chance. I think San Francisco always is going to be a team, again, dealt with their own injuries last year, McCaffrey and all the stuff on defense. So I think San Francisco and Dallas are 2 perennial teams we expect to be in the playoff hunt. They missed out last year. I wouldn't be shocked to see them back in it again this year.
This offensive line just has no answers right now. It's another sack.
Mike, this isn't real complicated. You're just not going to win a lot of NFL games when you continue to give up sacks at the rate that they are. I mean, this is just a complete disaster for this offensive line, and if they don't get it fixed, this game could be a runaway. A little miscommunication there, and that brings up 3rd down. It just doesn't appear that the quarterback and the wide receiver were on the same page on that last pass.
get the check he was hoping for in that one. That goes into the end zone, and it's a touchback. The Patriots offense and their running back, Travion Henderson, making their way back out there. Greg, this AFC East, a division that really has been dominated by the Bills. The 5 straight division titles. It's hard to see who can knock them off that perch right now.
Yeah, and I think until someone decides that that's going to change, I think you just have to assume that Buffalo remains the king of the East. And I think when you look at the bottom of the division with the Jets and New England, they're clearly in a rebuild. Young quarterbacks, new coaching staffs, trying to kind of get themselves out of the bottom of the division. Miami seems to me, I don't know if they're ready to compete necessarily with Buffalo directly, but Miami is a playoff caliber roster, a playoff caliber team. They've showed it in years past. So if anybody's ready to compete, I think it's Miami. I just don't know, Mike, if they are ready top to bottom over the length of the season to get enough wins to keep pace with a team as good as Buffalo.
And 2 new coaches at the bottom of the standings last year, the Jets and the Patriots. And Greg, both guys who played for a long time in the league and bring a certain amount of toughness to the top of the organizations.
Oh, absolutely, and it was very clear exactly what New York and New England were looking for. They wanted culture setters, right? It wasn't about getting the fancy play caller. It wasn't about the X's and O's. They needed to establish an identity and a culture of excellence and of winning. So no question, Mike, there was a very clear mission, a clear path to landing on Vrabel and Aaron Glenn, and they think they have their guy for the long term.
From the 24 now, here is 2nd down and 7. Lockett headed in motion. Keeping on the ground with Gentry. No dice there. He is met and tackled behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, has been the case this entire first half. It's been the defense that's really carried the load for this team. Some offensive struggles, but they've done more than their part, coming through again with another big stop for a loss.
And he's going to go down yet again. He has been under fire all game long. Here's their punter now, as he'll take this a yard or 2 into his own end zone. Fair catch made here. The drive will start at the 23-yard line. The Patriots offense ready to take over possession of the football. You know, Greg, early on, it's always new faces in different places. Off-season movement, what caught your eye?
I think there's so many good ones, right? You talk about Stephon Diggs. He ends up in New England, and Cooper Kupp now. He's moving on to Seattle from the Rams, but I think it's the guy the Rams signed to replace him, Davante Adams. I know he's not the youngest anymore, but watching him play in New York with Aaron Rodgers last year with the Jets, he can still run, he can still make every catch, he can still go up and compete at the high point. I think you put Davante Adams with Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, in that offense run by Sean McVay. I think that's a sneaky, maybe not a sneaky because he's a really household name, but I think that's a great signing by the Rams.
And always interesting from the offseason, the quarterback movement and unique ties. Some of the biggest names were or now are Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, and now the guy that is going to line up behind center for Seattle, Mike, is Sam Darnold. And, of course, we all saw that incredible season he had last year in Minnesota with Kevin O'Connell and Justin Jefferson and that really dynamic Vikings offense. So now he goes to Seattle. I think he's going to have an inspired Cooper Kupp. He was let go from the Rams. If he's healthy, he's a big weapon. Jackson Smith-Njigba, he has some pieces in that puzzle that he can push the ball downfield to. So I'm excited to see Sam. That's what everyone thought he was going to be coming out of college when he was a high draft pick of the New York Jets.
He's going to try it here again. That is caught. What a throw. Touchdown, Patriots. And how about that? His first career catch also becomes his first career NFL touchdown.
What a throw. I mean, Mike, you talk about arm strength, and you hear that so often kicked around the league, but to see a guy on the run outside of the pocket be able to not only keep his eyes downfield to watch his receiver break open, but then to be able to put that ball out there far enough on the money. The reality is there's just not a lot of guys in the league that can make that throw. And fortunately for this offense, they've got a guy, and they've got a touchdown.
They'll try to pick this up with a run. And he is not going to get in. stop on the drive for 2. The lead remains right where it is. Both teams ready to go once more as the kick's away. This will be returned from the 6. He'll get this up to the 28-yard line. Nice place for the drive to start. The Raiders offense getting those helmets back on, ready to head out for their next possession. Now, Greg, as we get the season going, obviously the adjustment to last year's new kickoff rules in place. We talked to a lot of coaches during the year. Folks didn't seem too bothered about letting the other team have the ball at the 30-yard line after a touchback. But the 35-yard line, I don't know, does that feel any different to you?
You know, it does, and I think the part that people don't talk about enough, Mike, is the impact that it's making on going for it on 4th down, not settling for field goals. Because remember, in the old days, if you got stopped inside the 5 or you scored inside the 5, it was all the difference of if I kicked a touchback, they got the ball at the 20. There wasn't that much of a spread, but now all of a sudden, is it in my best interest to settle for a field goal and kick off when I could give you the ball at the 35? Or even if I fail down there tight in the red zone on the 3, you now possess the ball inside your own 5-yard line. So I think that's an element now that's causing offenses to go for more touchdowns, kick less field goals, because the ensuing kickoff is giving my opponent the ball in much more favorable territory.
You know, the other rule that is adjusted are overtimes in the regular season will mirror playoff overtime, each team getting the ball. I'm so happy, Greg, because I just felt so incomplete when a team got to overtime, but then their offense, which may be the best part of the team, never got on the field.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more, and you hear everyone saying, oh, well, just get a stop. Well, you know, it's that legendary game between Mahomes and Josh Allen where neither team stopped anyone. It was just an offensive touchdown festival, so you won a coin toss and you get the ball. Well, the other team's defense hadn't gotten a stop the whole game. If Josh Allen got the ball first, he probably would have scored on a walk-off. So I love the idea of both teams getting the ball. If the game is good enough to go to overtime, let's finish it. We don't need to be in a rush. There's no curfew. Let's let the guys finish it on the field. A lot more similar to how the regular game goes and not have significantly different game flow come overtime.
Up the middle, it's Henderson. And that's the way you want to run it on 1st down. A gain of 7.
And he's been on an absolute tear throughout this entire game, Mike. And he's averaging over 10 yards per carry. And anytime you can run the ball with that explosiveness, it's just going to be hard to beat.
He'll let this go towards the end zone. And they're going to get this all the way down inside the 5. Well, here's the chance to cap off a great half. They have it 1st and goal.
Here goes throw. Ready, what's that?
To throw now. May. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Trying to work quickly here and put the pressure on the defense.
5.
Throwing on 2nd down. May. Flush to his right. That one out in front of his big target. They cannot connect. And it falls incomplete. They'll use 3 tight ends in the formation for 3rd and goal. Throwing is May. That is caught by the tight end, Austin Hooper. Touchdown, New England. The extra point now for Borregales. He's got it. And the Patriots continue to bring the hammers down. It is now 49-0. The kickoff team is out on the field, and we're back to it as the kick's away. This is fielded inside the 5. And he'll work this one past the 25 to right about the 28-yard line. The Raiders offense are now ready to take over once more. They'll try to get this a bit more respectable before the break. It has not been their half to this point. Let's see what they do on this drive. First down now. And he'll be met in the backfield and dropped behind the line of scrimmage.
Williams on the stop. It's a loss of a yard.
A second down throw for Smith.
At the 26.
Moving to his right. He'll try and get there on the ground. He'll try to pick this up on 3rd and 8.
It's a gain of 3. Brings up 3rd and
To throw. Smith. This offensive line just has no answers right now. It's another sack. Here's the punter now. As this drive quickly stalled out. He's on to punch it away. This one, returnable. And how about that? Nice return there. Picking his way up past the 35-yard line.
their own 36.
They go 3 tight ends here on 1st and 10. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Oh, in trouble, and down he goes.
A loss of 11. It's 2nd and 21. At the 25-yard line.
On 2nd down, it's May. He'll look deep here for Diggs. That is brought in. And they are not going to catch up to him. He will score. 74 yards. Touchdown, New England. What a start to the season. It's a 3-touchdown week number 1. So now May and the Patriots going to line up and go for 2.
The Patriots will line up for a 2-point
Operating from the shotgun, it's May. This is caught. He's got it. And they tack 2 boys onto their lead.
27. Raiders nothing.
Just 1 second remaining in this first half, and they will kick it away. The return starts from the 5. And he's going to be taken down. That is going to do it for us in this first half. And no rest for the weary. Let's get right back to it. Quarter number 3 set to begin.
Daniel Carlson.
Very one-sided first half of action. Will we get a turnaround? Let's find out. The 3rd quarter is underway. Now an opening past the 30. Still on the move. And he's going to take this all the way back. 91 yards. Touchdown, New England. What a start to the second half. They come right out of the locker room and take it all the way to the end zone for 6.
Mike, we got to find out what that halftime speech was by that coach, because apparently it worked. I mean, talk about a dream start here. You find yourself at halftime, you're regrouping, you want to come out in the 3rd quarter and establish some rhythm and momentum. And boy, do they do that here with their kickoff unit returning it for 6.
Borregales now for the extra point. Now the Patriots going to use their first timeout, and they'll get a chance to catch their breath over on the sideline. So now May and the Patriots going to line up and go for two.
The Patriots will
To throw. That's going to be incomplete. That would have been a tough grab. The collision jarred it loose. The try for two is unsuccessful. Both teams ready to go once more as the kick's away. This one taken at the 7. He'll work his way across the 25-yard line. The Raiders offense ready to get going again. They'll have it first in this third quarter. Well, Greg, this is going to take a lot of self-reflection here. You build up so much for the season opener. To struggle like this has got to be a tough feeling.
Yeah, we've never spoken to a team before their week 1 matchup where they didn't tell us this is the best training camp they've ever had, it's the best roster they've ever had. I mean, how many times have we heard that? So in this case, though, Mike, I think you have to be careful that you don't overcorrect. Of course, this did not go according to plan. This is not what they've been building to through their entire offseason schedule, but it's still also just one game. So don't throw everything in the garbage and start all over. Don't throw out all the hard work from the previous offseason. Stay the course, fix what went wrong, improve, and move on to week 2.
Smith from the gun on third down. Oh, he's got a defender right with him, and it's an interception. And his offense is going to be all set up with a short field and a chance to extend their lead. Now, after the interception, we have an injured player to look at. He'll get himself looked at, but this is not how you want to begin a new campaign. On the ground, here is Henderson. Finding space at the 15. And he will score again. Way beyond Henderson. Touchdown, Patriots. It's a debut for the ages, paying immediate dividends. 3 touchdowns in the season opener. So now May and the Patriots going to line up and go for two.
The Patriots will line up for...
Here comes the blitz as he looks to throw. And that is incomplete. 2-point conversion attempt winds up being unsuccessful.
I don't mind the play call, but something you have to keep in mind, Mike, is when you decide to pass this close to the goal line, all of the space is the width of the field. There's not a lot of depth to the field. So that's why the timing, the anticipation, the accuracy of the quarterback, it all has to be on point. It wasn't on that last play, and that's why it ultimately failed.
Operating from their own 23, they'll begin First and 10.
Here we go, here we go.
On the ground, it's Genty to start the drive. Ooh, some hitting going on now. He was rocked right at the line of scrimmage.
No gain on the play. Second and 10.
Yes, hold.
At the 23-yard line.
He'll go again with Genty. Once again, this defense up to the task. They stop it for no gain yet again. And now it's third down.
And they've really done a nice job defensively holding them in check. I mean, ideally, you'd want your back to average around 4 yards a pop, but they're falling short of that threshold as of now, and partially it's why they find themselves.
And he's going to go down yet again. He has been under fire all game long. Harold Landry, what a start to the season. His third sack here in week 1. The Raiders send their punt team out as he'll hit this from just outside of his own goal line. And he couldn't get that one to check up, and it'll keep bouncing into the end zone. It's a touchback. The Patriots offense and Drake May making their way back out. And he has been a nightmare to scheme against throughout this one. This defense has been picked apart. That is borne out in those impressive numbers. He has been terrific all game long. Throwing on first and 10 is May. He'll let this go deep for Diggs. This one broken up. It's incomplete. The defender right there with him. It brings up second down.
Brings up second and 10 at the 20-yard line.
Hand off, and it's Henderson. And he'll be brought down.